Welcome now to the final pillar, train like a fit mum. Inside of this pillar, I'm going to teach you not only what type of exercise you need to perform, but I'm also going to teach you how to think around exercise. Inside this pillar, I'm going to really reiterate that the success of this pillar relies on every pillar before it. Okay. So if you think of a pyramid, this is the cherry on top. This is the final piece that makes the whole pyramid look good, but will not work unless the foundations are in place. So to give you a quick recap, your movement groove or your training is going to be dictated by your nutritional rhythm. If you don't have energy to train, you're not going to train intensely. Your nutrition rhythm is going to be dictated by your repair ritual. If you can't think clearly, you're not going to make good nutritional choices. And your repair ritual is really dictated by your clarity and your commitment. You're not going to do things like get to bed earlier, wind down appropriately, unless you know the importance of why you're doing those things. So at any point throughout this journey, if you get stuck, your movement groove isn't working for you, you'll know how to think, because you'll be able to say to yourself, oh, did I follow my nutrition rhythm? No. Okay, well, did I follow my repair ritual? Okay, no. Am I clear? Do I need to make better commitments? Yes, maybe that's the reason why I've fallen off track. And you'll eventually be able to think for yourself, solve your own problems, and that's ultimately the end goal. Now, in this particular lesson, I'm going to teach you how to think around exercise, because there are many forms of exercise. All of them are fantastic, but when you don't incorporate all of them, then just like with anything, too much of a good thing is a bad thing, or not enough of a good thing is going to have no result whatsoever. This lesson is going to turn your good intentions of sticking to a perfect exercise plan on their head, and it's going to detach your motivation from whether or not you're perfect with your exercise. And finally, it's going to turn your good intentions into a consistent groove, one that lasts 52 weeks of the year. Because the best exercise program is something you can do consistently. You'll get a much better result from doing 2 exercise sessions a week, 52 weeks of the year, than you would from 6 exercise sessions or 12 exercise sessions in 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, so with all of that said, let's go and move now to the FitMum exercise hierarchy. This is going to teach you how to think around exercise. Okay, so here we have the FitMum exercise hierarchy, and there are 3 types of exercise that you're going to be introduced to in this pillar. I'm not going to talk about them in depth in this video, but I'm going to talk about the overall principle. The first is LIA, low intense activity. This is just general movement and should be done most days, if not every day. You should just be generally active, and being generally active means getting out, playing with the kids, kicking the ball around, going for walks, going for swims, doing some yoga, some Pilates, going back to a dance class that you used to do, playing some sport. All of that stuff is encompassed by low intense activity, and it's defined by, well, not going to a gym, not leaving in a sweaty pile of mess. This is just food for the soul, okay? Movement. And doing this will actually rely on your efficiency in the kitchen. If you have to cook every single night, well, you're not going to be able to get out and enjoy the evenings and get moving if that's the only time you can move, so on and so forth, right? So as you can see here, it really is linear. It all plugs in, and your nutrition rhythm does directly affect your movement groove. With that said, now that's your foundation, all right? That's the very first part. We're going to color that in green so you can see that. This stuff here, it's not going to impact your metabolism in a way where you need to eat carbohydrates or anything like that. This is low intensity, so it's something that is considered outside the window. Okay, moving forward now, let's talk about the next part to this whole pyramid, and that is fire. Fire is your structured resistance exercise, and you'll learn more about that as we go along through this pillar. But for now, all you need to know is that this is the cornerstone of your exercise program. It's the fountain of youth. It will produce all of the results that you want from exercise and more. It is the bedrock of your training. Okay. Now, with that said, this is something that is interchangeable. Okay. So if you have a 2-day-a-week program and you're sick, you're stressed, one is better than two, okay? Or half a workout is better than a full workout if you're strapped for time. But generally, and as you will find out in the fire lesson, these workouts should only take about 25 minutes, okay? And then finally, we've got ice, and this goes right at the very top. I should have actually colored this one red because it's a double-edged sword. Ice is what you generally think about when you think of fat loss, and it is hugely popular in the mum population. Popular because of the fact that it's just fun, and it's often always thought of as being the thing that will get rid of the fat. Let me tell you, sweating has absolutely nothing to do with fat loss. Zero. In fact, fat loss has everything to do with how much muscle you have. Okay, and you should know that already. But what ice can do is you can actually get negative results from exercise if you do too much of it. So to give you an example, when you first start, two ice sessions a week alongside 2 fire programs is perfect. But as you get leaner and as you want to lose more fat, it's not about doing more cardio. It's actually doing less. In fact, when Megan was at her leanest, she was doing one of these ice workouts a fortnight, if that. Okay, and especially when she was recovering from fatigue, she didn't do it at all for a good 12 months. Don't fact check me on that, but she didn't do it for a long time. So this is the hierarchy, and this is how I want you to think about it. I want you to think of this hierarchy as something that is dynamic, and it can be stripped back so that if you need to, for example, get rid of ice for the week, well, you can do that because you might be overworked, overstressed, or whatever the case might be. And if you can only do, say, half of the fire for the week, then this can happen, right? But as long as you rebuild,